Give it a second.
Hey, Mitch. Super Wildcard Weekend. How we feeling?
Hey.
Oh, boy. Oh, Dutchie. Oh, Dutchie. Oh, Dutchie. Oh, sweet Dutchie.
Tommy.
Yes.
Today could be a beautiful Sunday. Do you know why?
Why?
Well, not only could the Birds win,
Yes.
could Brady lose,
Yes.
but the boys.
Yes. Always got Puffer.
Could be first-round exits. Let's go, Birds, baby! Now, bear with me 1 second, Tom. I'm just running through my house. You better know damn well, my lungs can't handle a full cigar in these COVID times. I don't think anybody can.
No.
You'd have to be a super freak. But anyway, Tommy,
Yes.
Let me know how are you feeling about Jalen Hurts and what's going on with him today? What does he need to do to get this team to win and get us back to those 2017 feels?
So I think today's an optimal day for Jalen Hurts, and here's why. According to John Clark, he's down there. He's in Tampa. He said it actually stopped raining, which wasn't supposed to originally happen, but the forecast is just calling for like heavy winds. So you probably won't see a lot of deep balls. Where Brady has an advantage kind of over Jalen Hurts, he can hit those deep balls, whereas Jalen Hurts hasn't really been able to hit those deep balls all season. He's been hitting like those shorter routes. So what I'm thinking is it's an evenly matched up with the high winds. They're calling for like 30 to 40 mile per hour-ish winds. He's got to throw it short anyway, just because any deep ball is going to get knocked down by those winds. And so he's going to have to hit like Devontae Smith for like a strike of a pass. As he'll have to rely on what Quez Watkins is really good at. He's good at running those under routes. And then once he has the ball in his hand, because of his speed and his agility, he can kind of make a move. So I think it's a very optimal day for Jalen Hurts. Brady's going to have to deal with the same things. Brady might not be able to throw those deep balls like he normally can for a quick strike touchdown, even like those 30 or 40-yard touchdowns like he usually does. So this could be a good day for Jalen Hurts versus Tom Brady.
I'm going to say this too, and you just made a really good point, but I'm going to say that Jalen Hurts has more to gain than to lose. Like, we weren't even supposed to be here in this game right now. We aren't even supposed to be contending right now in the playoffs, and yet we're here. So, You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, he has a lot more to gain from this game than lose. And honestly, if I'm Brady, that's scary. You remember who?
Yeah.
Let's think about all the games where the players had more to gain rather to lose that played Tom Brady. Eli Manning, the 8-8 year that they won the Super Bowl. Nick Foles, a backup QB, more to gain than to lose from those games. You're not even supposed to be there. So that's why I think that we all have this gut feeling in our stomach right now, us Eagles fans at least, that we're like, yo, we might do this. And everybody's looking at us like we're crazy, Tom. They're saying, you don't understand football, Salucci. Your city's trash. What are you saying to that?
What am I saying to that? I'm saying today's going to be a smash mouth game. And
it is.
Like I said, it's 30 to 40 mile per hour winds. No one's throwing a deep ball. The rain, they had the field tarped or as of like 2 hours ago. And it's not raining anymore. So slick conditions won't really play a factor. So Miles Sanders, Jordan Howard, Boston Scott. How could I forget the little guy?
How could you forget the little guy?
Exactly. I'm a little guy myself. How could I forget him? But he, I think with a smash mouth football type of day, I think it could be a good day for the Birds. Even though they're playing against the number one run defense in the league, this could be a good day for the Eagles' run game, especially going outside. But with a guy like Miles Sanders or Boston Scott, they might have to rely more on Boston Scott and Miles Sanders than they usually do with Jordan Howard. Like, Jordan Howard might have a light day just because he's a more up-the-middle guy than those two are. And up the middle just probably won't be open just because of how the Buccaneers front line is.
Yeah, it's gonna be a smash mouth game, like you're saying, Tom. And I think that the thing is, in most of those, Tom Brady, all of these, it is really a smash mouth football game. So that's what I'm looking forward to. That Leonard Fournette is out because he is their smash mouth football guy. If they had one, I don't even know who their backup is. Is it Le'Veon Bell now? I guess.
Le'Veon Bell's one. They have some rookie that he's played pretty well. He's kind
Do
of
they
like
still have the other guy that was good too, Ronald Jones?
I think they do.
See, that's what I'm scared of is that they have a three-headed rushing attack, kind of like we do.
Yeah, exactly.
All three of those guys are good at different things, but I mean, Leonard Fournette being out in the rain, that's going to help. So it's really up to this D line. I mean, you know who I miss? BG.
Yeah, I know you're going to miss BG today. Hey, but that means also because of also the Sweat situation, you're going to have to rely on Singleton a bit today. Hey, to stop that run.
Yeah. It is. We're going to be banking on Singleton and Edwards. And that's a great point, too. What are you thinking about these young linebackers that really, they don't have playoff experience? I mean, do they? Was Edwards on the team? Maybe he was that year that we went 2 years ago. No. So neither Singleton or Edwards were on the team. That's a great point. I mean, what are we thinking about these linebackers? Do we trust these kids?
I think they'll be fine. I don't think it's as much pressure on a linebacker as it is like a quarterback, a skills position, like on offense, because the eyes are on you when you're at a skills position. And, like nobody's eyes, like us in Philly, we love to look at Jason Kelce, but no one's eyes are really on Jason Kelce once the game gets started. Like we just love him just because.
I mean, unless he makes, there have been a couple blocks, bare on wheels where you're like, holy shit! Like
but you don't
he got laid out.
You don't.
But I
look
get
at
what you're saying. The O-line doesn't get love.
Yeah, they don't get any love until they lay someone out. So I think
they'll just get hate too.
Yeah. So I think they'll be fine.
Is Mailata, like, I know Mailata wasn't the healthiest the past couple of weeks. Is he supposed to be good today?
I think they are. I think they're going to try to let him go.
Yeah, I'm going to see. I mean, at this point with it in the year, it's like if the injury is not like career ending, get out there and play one more game and see what you got.
Yeah.
And of course, we don't want you to get hurt, but it's the playoffs. We've seen a lot of players play through injury.
Plus, I think they have some depth on that O-line anyway. After what we saw with the Cowboys game, Minshew stayed pretty clean. Like, he didn't have a ton of time, but he stayed clean for the most part. And Hurts likes to roll out anyway, so, like, he doesn't need to be given a ton of time. He just needs to have those guys slowed up so then he can roll out of the pocket anyway.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think as long as we can focus in on letting Hurts do what he's comfortable with, rolling out of the pocket, handing the ball off, short passes where we can get Quez Watkins on a slant or Devontae Smith on a slant and let the little guy just do what they're good at, running the ball, rack, and let them go. But it's going to really be up to the offensive line. And you know who it's really going to be? The anchors are going to be the tackles. Because the way that Jalen Hurts goes is he's an outside of the pocket kind of guy. So it's really going to be up to those two tackles to be able to say, hey, they need to be able to actually, when you think about it, usually an offensive line, if I'm the QB, they'll be spread around me like this. I need them to be more like this, like more of a triangle and have everything so that if I can bounce it out, then I have space. They need that for the run game too. But I mean, hey, I can't knock the offensive line, Tom. You made a good point. They've been phenomenal thus far to the season, especially since week 8, number 1 run game. So, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
That's what we always said in college, right?
Yeah. It ain't broke. Don't fix it. Eileen wasn't fixing it. That's for sure.
Oh my gosh. But I want to talk about something too. I think one of the parts that used to be a real vulnerability on our team in the playoffs that we were scared of was the cornerback position.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I'm not worried about that. I'm like, that's unlocked. Maddox, is that who? I think it's Maddox, right? Avonte Maddox, who's been the main guy besides Slay. And Nelson. Nelson has been a phenomenal signing. I said it when we got him. I know we were living together, and I was like, ooh, this Steven Nelson guy came off a good season with the Steelers. Like, I thought they kind of let him go for something. And I don't know if you saw it. The Eagles actually gave Steven Nelson a bonus. Like,
I did. It was like if he played 90% of defensive snaps is what it was, but they wanted to set him for that last game against the Cowboys, so they like restructured it so it counts as a signing bonus instead of like a performance bonus.
Which is perfect. Because when you're headed into the playoffs, that's exactly what you want to do to incentivize somebody. You know what I mean? Like that's like the perfect like fire in your belly. Like, hey, get out there. You know what I mean? Like, go out there, have fun, but also like, here's some money. We appreciate what you've done. Keep doing it. You know what I mean? And I think that's the perfect way to say it because the Eagles didn't make an announcement about it. I think they probably just had to hear something about it financially or that had to be disclosed, and somebody probably made an announcement about it.
Yeah.
Got MJ23 in here. He's saying Gio Bernard goes off for a TD. Gronk goes off for 2 TDs. Mike Evans for 100 yards, 1 TD. Brady 4 TDs and 1 pick. Well, that 1 pick, what you forget, MJ, is that pick is going to be the guy who scored a lot of touchdowns for us this year, Darius Slay, returning it for the game-winning touchdown. I mean, let's talk about him for a second. He got snubbed from first pro all team, I thought, because Trayvon Diggs gets 11 picks.
Oh, he got 11 picks. But he gave up like 47 touchdowns or something.
What do you think about Slay getting snubbed?
I hate it. I think it's because everybody calls Dallas is America's team. Like, what? Like, okay. Yeah, he had 11 interceptions, but he also gave up the most yards, the most touchdowns in the league. Like, he had a horrible season by all accounts. Like, great. He had 11 interceptions, but he's given up points on the board still. Like, it's like what we had with, what was his name? The Green Goblin. What I'm drawing
Jalen Mills.
Yeah, Jalen Mills. He was great at times, and he could get some interceptions for you.
Yep.
But
he wasn't consistent, but he was risky. You're right.
But if he's giving if he's given up twice as many touchdowns, and he's given up some of the most yards in the league, is he really helping you? He's giving up all these big plays.
It's tough because, like, it's not that I don't like Trayvon Diggs just because he's a Cowboy. And I'm not saying you're biased because that. I know you are. This guy is as Delco as they come, everybody in here. He just doesn't give a shit. Me, I like Dak Prescott. Like, I think he's a good player, but of course he's a Cowboy. But this is not like an Eagles-Cowboys thing, Cowboys fans, because I know I shared this in the NFC group. You don't know what you're talking about. It's not an Eagles-Cowboys thing. It's just a pure facts thing that he's given up a lot of yards. Yes, he has 11 interceptions. I'm not denying that's insane. That's phenomenal. But when you give up 1,000 yards coupled with that, there's something to be said about that. Just saying. So Darius, I think, had the 5th best cornerback rating in the league. Trayvon Diggs wasn't on that grading. I think it was, I shared it on our podcast, whatever it was, but I know J.C. Jackson and Darius Slay were right near each other. I think it was Jalen Ramsey. I wanted to say Jair Alexander, but I don't think he even played this year. I think he's coming back, though. I don't know if he played part-time, but regardless, Slay has been a godsend.
Yeah.
And we needed help at this position.
And people gave him shit, too, when he first got here, because he had, like, one bad game, and that was it.
Yeah.
Like,
I definitely think, I wonder how much of that goes into Gannon. Like, or does it go into Steven Nelson? Because in my opinion, it's that.
I think it's that too, because last year, who was our other corner? No one. And it was Slay. Because people were like, oh, big play Slay. How come he's not getting the interceptions like Dawkins was getting back in the day? Or like Lito Shepherd was getting. But it's not, but if no one's going to throw his way because they know he's locked down, but the Eagles have 2 other corners that just aren't covering anyone, they're going to throw it that way. Like, it's not a rocket science analysis you have to do here. Darius Slay was locking down his guys. The other corners weren't locking down their guys. So why would a quarterback throw towards the guy that has his guy covered? He's going to throw towards the wide open guy.
Yeah, and that's such a good point. I think we need to talk about that on the podcast. That's a great topic. I'm going to write it down right now. This week, if you guys aren't doing anything, Wednesday nights at 9, we go live every Wednesday night, for 1 hour, 9 to 10. Subscribe, like, follow, check us out. It's little things that matter. We're Delaware's #1 Eagle source, but how much of Darius Slay balling this year goes into either Jonathan Gannon, Steven Nelson, maybe it's Darius Slay. I mean, I'm fine with that too. Or maybe it's a combination of all 3. Heck, let's talk about it, though, because, I mean, on the podcast, I'll write that down, Slay-Nelson, because I think that's probably, you're right. I think you dropped Lito Shepherd that earlier. This combo of Slay, Nelson, Maddox, McLeod, like if we draft like a badass safety first round, this is going to feel like 2004 again, when we didn't worry about the secondary. You know, like 2010 to really 2018, even in the Super Bowl, we were always worried about that secondary.
Yeah. Once what's his face? Once Dawkins retired, we never really had a guy that like stepped up. McLeod has like finally kind of solidified at safety because like for years after Dawkins retired, it was just kind of a revolving door. McLeod's kind of settled it once we got him from the Rams years ago. So, you have Darius Slay, a big play Slay. You have Steven Nelson, and we have Maddox coming in. He kind of has done nice in his like lessened role and kind of being like kind of more of like
he has. That's like a very good point. Like, what is he? I guess he's technically the slot corner, is what they call that.
Yeah, like a slot or a nickel type guy.
But he actually has. I want to look it up because you're really right, Tom. I think he has a couple picks this year too.
Yeah. So
this year he has 1 interception. That's not bad.
Yeah.
And he has a sack too. That's kind of dope.
But like he's not giving up big yards like he was last year when we wanted him to be like a number 2 or a number 1 even.
Yeah.
And he's just not that guy. He's just not a number. I'm sorry.
But a number 3 though.
Yeah, it's like a slot or a nickel type guy. He's like shut down.
That's what we need. Like I think
I
really want a hard-hitting free safety in the draft. Like I want somebody that, because McLeod, I mean, let's face it, Tom. Love him.
He's getting old.
He's getting old. Love what he did for the Super Bowl. I think he's honestly one of the most underrated Philadelphia Eagles of all time. We never, ever. How often do we say anything bad about McLeod? Maybe he was injured for 1 season, but that happens in the NFL nowadays with guys. When do you ever hear about him bad in the news? Never.
You don't.
But yet you never see anybody ever wear his jersey at an Eagles game.
Yeah.
I think that needs to change. And if you and I have to be those guys, Tom, to set that trend, we're the McLeods. We're the McLeod lovers. That's what they call us.
I tried to get like a real Devontae Smith jersey, not one of those like sweat factories out in China, like a real one. And
you mean one of these?
Yeah, like one of those.
Yeah, that's what
like,
it is.
It was like $120. So maybe I'll get McLeod for only like 60. So
exactly.
I'll have to risk my credit card.
And you know what's going to be cool about McLeod is that's going to be a jersey that you can wear forever. Yeah. You know, like he's one of those guys, like Connor Barwin.
Like Javon Curse.
Oh, yeah, Javon Curse, Reggie White. Like, even like the guys that don't get as much credit too, like LaShawn McCoy. Nobody's ever going to tell you to take off a LaShawn McCoy, Deshaun Jackson. Like, I think McLeod should get Malcolm Jenkins. I think that all those guys, but especially McLeod, should get more credit. But moving on to another topic, we've talked about the secondary. We've talked about the linebackers. Let's talk about the defensive line. I mean, we're young on that defensive line. And what do we need to do to get after Brady today?
I think you need Fletcher Cox to be Fletcher Cox again.
And Milton Williams, though, too. Like, he needs to step up today, too.
I agree. But Fletcher Cox doesn't have the sacks he's had in years past. He's way down in that department. But he has put up the pressure. I'll give him that. He has put up the pressure. It isn't Fletcher Cox of old, but I'll give him that. He's old. He's older. He's older now. Now I can't expect him to be like Fletcher Cox, 12 sacks on the season and maybe 15, going for a season all-time single season record. I can't expect that out of him anymore. But I need him to smash that offensive line. Brady needs some pressure in his face. He just needs the pressure. He doesn't need to be getting the sacks all day today. But I do need him putting his hands up, putting his hands in Brady's face all day. And Brady might have a long day then. And I'm sorry, Gronk might not have his 4 TDs today. And Mike Evans may not have his 3 TDs if Brady's getting pressure in his face. Now, to that guy's credit, though, Gronk might have a big game just because Brady does have to throw it underneath and throw it kind of shorter.
Yep.
And Gronk will get those passes. Is then if Brady's got to do that, and it's not because a knock on Brady, it's windy as can be down there. It's like a hurricane force wind today. Like no one can do that. So,
yeah, I'm interested to see what route Jonathan Gannon does with this defensive line. Does he use stunts? Does he use, just everybody where they're at? Because you're right, Fletcher Cox hasn't been what he's been. But one of the good news is Javon Hargrave has stepped up this season. So if he's playing and Milton Williams can step in, and then, Josh Sweat, losing him is obviously a huge blow.
Yeah.
But if we can get, these outside guys, even if Kerrigan can come in for a game and finally do something. Hey, I'm sure Jack. A lot of Eagles fans will buy his jersey this week if he could just do something. So it's going to be interesting to see.
Can we re-sign Chris Long for a game?
I know. We got to call, even Nick Foles, put him in at defensive end. Hell, just intimidate Brady. Just look at him. Make him shake your hand. He won't even do that. He's too afraid. So,
yeah. Chris, Chris Long, you have 8 minutes. Suit up.
Now, I want you to tell me, because we got to wrap up here in a minute. It's almost game time, baby. I got the feels. But, hey, I think you made a good point, Tom, about the rain. Tight ends coming underneath. What do our tight ends need to do today besides Goddard? Because it's always the Dallas Goddard show. But now that Ertz has left, one of these guys has got to step up, especially if there are 2 tight ends in there.
Well, Jackson's out. He tore his ACL during that Dallas game, so he's out. So it's got to be Stoll or Richard Rodgers to step up. I like Richard Rodgers. I like the veteran experience. He was really good on Green Bay. He's older now. I like him in a reduced role with the Eagles where he can just kind of go in there and just where he can just go in for a few plays here and there to give Goddard a rest for 2 seconds. I don't like him being in there the whole game, like he was in Green Bay, and sometimes we would try to use him like that if Goddard was hurt. He just isn't. He's too old to be doing that anymore. We got to get maybe Stoll in there. I like Stoll. I think Stoll could do great things. But if Goddard goes down, I think Stoll has to be the guy to step up then. And
Stoll really hasn't stepped up all season. That's why I see the kind of shaking in your voice. You're like,
He kind of has to step up. But I don't think he's bad. I just think we just haven't used him.
Yeah, that might be a good point too. Have we fully utilized him?
Goddard's been a beast. He's stepped up since Ertz left. Sorry.
Words are hard. We got a question real quick.
What's that?
Take this first. This is going to be a phenomenal answer. Everybody in the chat, stick around. This is going to be hilarious. I will give you your montage for this, Tom. Take it away.
How do I think Reagor will do? Oh, how do you think Nelson Aguilar would do?
Playoffs Nelson Aguilar. Playoffs Nelson Aguilar is a different beast, but keep going.
That's fair. But Reagor, you kidding me? He can't catch a ball on a dry day. You think a day where he might have a little bit of extra moisture, little percent for the little baby. Boy, no, he's not catching shit. He can't catch a kickoff anymore. That's why they kept Huntley and put J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, his bum ass on the they put J.J. Arcega-Whiteside on the IR because they need Huntley to catch the kickoffs now. Huntley did look good against the Cowboys.
Huntley did look good. And look, we got a lot of people in here. If you guys like this guy right here laying out Eagles receivers, subscribe, check out our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Pods, everything. Give us a listen. We're the new kids on the block. 302 Birds, Delaware's #1 source. If you're from the 302, got friends from the 302, or just a diehard Eagles fan, check us out. But yeah, how do I think Reagor's going to do? I agree with Tom. I don't think it's going to be any different, but hey, Nelson Aguilar sucked during the regular season, but something in the playoffs turned on. Maybe it's a Philadelphia Eagles tradition for these wide receivers that just suck all season. They just get pissed off and be like, you know what? I'm going to prove everybody wrong today. And hey, I hope I'm wrong.
And that guy said he did turn it on.
That's Anthony. Say what's up. Anthony's one of our biggest fans.
Anthony's right. He did turn it on against the Patriots. I'm not going to knock. He's 100% right there. But Nelson Aguilar kind of didn't turn he turned it on for that one playoff run. That's it though. Did he turn up against the Bears when we had the double doink?
But hey, that one playoff run.
That's all that matters. I agree. If
Reagor can somehow turn it on this one playoff run and he sucks the rest of his Eagles career, I'll buy his jersey.
Yeah, I'll buy his jersey, sure.
You guys heard it here first. So if they win the Super Bowl and Rager goes off in like the playoffs, like to a point like where it's comparable to Aguilar, he doesn't have to put up Alshon Jeffrey numbers, but Aguilar numbers, and we can look at the stats too at the end of the year. I mean, if it happens, we'll see.
You know what I'm afraid of? He might be a Todd Pinkston, where it's like we expect him to do great things, and he just never turned it on. Instead, it was like we had to rely on like downtown Reggie Brown, and we had or like. Don't you remember him?
I know. It's just that was what my grandfather called him.
That's what I called him too. Dude could catch a 50-yard bomb anytime we needed him to. And we always caught it from downtown. I loved Reggie Brown.
Anthony Fitzgerald is cracking up in the chat that you just called him down. Everybody loves Tommy. So like I said, guys, if you aren't already, check us out. Follow, like, subscribe. But, hey, I kind of want to cut off the show here. I mean, that was a good place to end it on a positive note. But, hey, last but not least, Tommy, give me a score prediction, brother.
Score prediction, I think it's going to be tough, but I think it could be comparable to when we played the Buccaneers early in the season. So I think both teams, though, score around 30 points. So I'm going to say 33-30. And it's going to come down to a field goal, like Jack said this week.
33-30. Eagles?
Eagles. There's going to be a lot of 2-point conversions today, but it's going to come down to a last-second field goal in regulation.
This is giving me Atlanta vibes, too, to that one game where we were the number 1 seed. I mean, we're not the number 1 seed, but we were the first ever number 1 seed
underdog.
To go in underdog with the number 6 seed. So we'll see what happens. But, hey, Eagles fans, we appreciate all of you. Please like our Facebook page. Please check us out on all platforms. Instagram, we got a lot of good memes on there. Facebook, we got the memes. Like the page, subscribe on YouTube. Without further ado, Birds are winning. My score prediction, it's going to be a pissing match, but give me 26-20 Philly. Book it.